My name is Valerie Behrens, and I'm a member of discernment here at Middleton Community United Church of Christ. And I want to welcome you today to worship, where no matter who you are or where you are in your journey, you are welcome here. As always, the QR code on the welcome screen also is for our digital members to go ahead and sign up as they're on the friendship to put their information that they've attended today. We have a couple of announcements today, and Brian Koenig will start us out, and then we'll go through just a couple more.
I don't know if we got a slide. Good morning. A few months back, we formed a governance work group to look at the governance model we use here at MCC. The idea of the group was to see if we needed to update the way our church council and our governing boards operated, and in particular look at how our lay leadership and staff leadership could collaborate maybe better. Not that there are any problems, but that how we could even improve on that. The last time we did this sort of review was 50 years ago. So a few things have changed since then. This work group is made up of Joanne Thompson, Janet Coughlin, Laura Romine, Rich Pleva, Jim Bachhuber, Pastor Zana, Pastor Rachel, and myself. And in that time, we have developed a proposal for a new MCC governance structure, a structure we think defines lay leadership roles more clearly and better accommodates the skills of our professional staff. And I think it will provide more focus also for our volunteers, as I think there'll be more volunteer opportunities outside of having to be on a board. So, in a few days, you'll receive an email from the church, or a mail, however you get your communications from the church, that will describe basically the process this group has gone through, the proposal that we have in detail. And then, after you get that, in August, on August 10th, and then again on August 24th, we'll have listening sessions after church that you'll be invited to hear a rough outline of what we're going to do, and then to get your feedback and your thoughts about the proposal. Then after that, on September 28th, we'll have a congregational meeting where we'll have more discussion, and then hopefully get some endorsement from the congregation to proceed with either the proposal we have now or the modified one, or whatever comes out of our conversations in August and in the small groups. So if you have any questions about that, you can ask me, but you should be getting communication from the church that gives you all the details of what we're proposing. Thank you.
This Friday, July 25th, from 9:30 to 10:30 in the fellowship hall right out here is the advocacy morning, where they're going to be talking, and I believe Jim Newman's going to be leading. Oh, haha. The whole group. So it'll be a joint meeting with the Justice Advocacy Group. Also a great time to make your voice heard, if in a way that's probably more comfortable than other ways, if maybe for you, but you still have your voice heard, and also help lead where we're going with the Justice Advocacy Group, new ideas.
The first reading today is from Isaiah chapter 55, verses 1 through 3. Hear, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters. And you who have no money, come, buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk, without money and without price. Why do you spend your money for that which is not bread, and your earnings for that which does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me, and eat what is good, and delight yourselves in rich food. Incline your ear and come to me. Listen so that you may live. I will make with you an everlasting covenant, my steadfast, sure love for David. Our second reading is from John 6, verses 28 through 35. The crowd asked, "What must we do in order to accomplish what God requires?" Jesus replied, "This is what God requires, that you believe in him whom God sent." They asked, "What miraculous sign will you do, that we can see and believe in you?" "What will you do? Our ancestors ate manna in the wilderness, just as it is written, 'He gave them bread from heaven to eat.'" Jesus told them, "I assure you, it wasn't Moses who gave the bread from heaven to you, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. The bread of God is the one who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." They said, "Sir, give us this bread all the time." Jesus replied, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." This is the good news for the people of God. Thanks be to God.
Our scriptures today Encourage us to ponder the prophet Isaiah's call for his people to buy wine and milk without price, to consider Jesus' retelling of the story of his ancestors who received daily bread, manna from the heavens to meet their needs, and to consider Jesus' own words, "I am the bread of life." Now we'll hear from a speaker from one of our congregation's mission partners, the Madison Area Food Pantry Gardens, who has generously agreed to share some updates on their history and how they are meeting our community's needs in this moment. And her name is Darcie Van Dop. Welcome, Darcie.
Good morning. So first I want to say I got here a little early this morning, and thank you to Valerie and Joan in the back and the tech team. You all have just been so welcoming this morning and helping me feel comfortable being here. So thank you for your hospitality. I really appreciate it. I've been with Madison Area Food Pantry Gardens for just over 2 years now. I started as actually an AmeriCorps for community outreach. And the gardens were growing so fast, they really felt like, hey, we need kind of a trial period of, do we need somebody official to help with community events and educating people on who we are and drawing in more volunteers because we're so volunteer powered in what we do. So we had this 1-year trial with me on board, and I fell in love with the gardens so quickly. I think any of you that have been out there know what I'm talking about. It's just an amazing organization and amazing people. So after my 1 year, we decided to officially bring me on. So I am now the marketing specialist for Madison Area Food Pantry Gardens. So when I met with Reverend Rachel about what should I share, what would be helpful, she said, well, a lot of our congregation knows who you are, but there might be some that don't. So why not just tell you who we are? So I'm going to start with our history, just a little bit of history of who we are. So that is Ken Whitty and Emmett Schulte. They are the founders of our organization. They had a heart to put fresh produce into our food pantries, so they started by just going to local farmers markets and asking for excess produce, or what we call gleaning. And as they started to do that, they realized the need was so much bigger than just what they could get at the farmers markets. So they went around to some landowners that maybe had an extra acre of land that they weren't using and said, hey, can we grow on your land? Would that be okay? And we had 3 landowners that said, yeah, go for it. And that's really how we got started. If you see, too, it might be hard to see, in the red puffer vest is Tom Parslow. He is another major contributor to our organization. He's the one that said, hey, we need to make this official, and did all the paperwork to make us a 501c3, and he was our president for a very long time, another incredible man. So here's our mission statement: feeding our community with first choice, fresh, culturally relevant produce. And it is hard to believe that this is our 25th year. It's just wild how long we've been doing this. This is probably hard to see too, but this is just a little bit of background of all of our garden locations. We have 10 sites throughout Dane County. So I put the cities just so you can see where we are: Fitchburg, Madison, Middleton, Oregon, and Verona. I think kind of next in our growing scale is to go a little bit more east side. Oh, let's see. So here's the why. If you can see the underlined line on there, since 2024, the need for our emergency food system has more than doubled just in the last 2 years. And it has put a big strain on the food pantries, including the funding has been going down the last couple of years. So it's just this, growing bubble of need and less resources. But what makes us unique is that it's not just about providing food, it's about providing nutritious food and healthy food. And that's what we say is food is medicine. So that is a big part of our mission. When we're talking about the funding going down, July 11th, a couple weeks ago, we had a group from Vera Court Neighborhood Family Resource Center come out, and we were connected with them through another farm that has lost their funding. They're a for-profit farm, but they had grant money to give produce to a pantry, and their funding has ended, and they came to us and said, this outlet and 3 others that they were serving are no longer going to get produce from us, and they've become dependent on it. Can you please step in? So we said, yeah, we'll do what we can. So we invited this group out so that they could get to know us, and it was about 29 and 10-year-olds that came out to the farm. Most of them had never been on a farm. So we did like a scavenger hunt, because another part of who we are is education, right? Teaching our youth, where does your food come from? So we did a scavenger hunt where they had to find beets and peas and peppers and cucumbers. Most of them had not seen where those things come from. And when I asked them at the end, so what was your favorite part? What did you find most interesting? And they said, the inside of a beet. And I was, interesting. But they said, it comes out of the ground and it's dirty and it's dark red, and then you cut it open and it's this vibrant, bright pink. And one of the girls was like, can I put it on my face for blush? And I'm like, I don't know if your parents would like that. But and the other cool part was when they went over, Matt was harvesting potatoes. And so you've got this field of just green stalks standing up, and he puts a shovel in and pulls up these stalks, and there's 15 potatoes hanging from this root, and they were just like, holy cow, and helping us pull the potatoes off. And a bunch of the kids mentioned, oh, we love eating potatoes. So we took a basket and we loaded 23 pounds of potatoes, and we said, take them home and share them with your family. And they were so excited about that. And it's moments like that that just tangibly get to show us, what we do and how we help and how we feed our community. So here's just some numbers. Last year we donated just over 94,000 pounds of fresh produce. That's actually a little low for us. We're usually closer to 110,000 pounds, but it was a rough season last year. It was like flooding rain and then no rain, drought conditions. So it was hard to grow last year. And as I mentioned, there's our volunteer numbers, over 25,000 volunteers. We truly are volunteer powered. We only have 3 farm site managers for 10 gardens, and that amount of produce that we grow, we really rely on the community to come alongside with us and help us grow. So then you'll see the total hours that were donated, just shy of 85,000. Oops, sorry. Okay, I have to go to my notes here. Because I told some of you weren't safe from being called out today. I got with Matt and I said, Matt, who can I shout out that in this community, in this church, have supported our organization? So I think I lost Ross and Beth Michaels with the youth group. Did they go? They are regular Wednesday volunteers. And I lost Amy Miller. Oh, but Brady's still here. I've heard, Brady, that you are very faithful of being over there volunteering, and that they absolutely love having you out there, and that your joy is just evident out there, so thank you. And where is Brian and Jim? They help with produce distribution, which is another huge help for our organization. They come out and gather produce and deliver it to some of our outlets. The Middleton Youth Center, we do weekend food bags for them, for kids that need food over the weekend. And then they also take to Way Forward Resources. And your wife does the bees, right? She our beekeeper? Okay. I was like, well, okay, Matt doesn't know what he's doing. we have bees on the west side. And then my friend Kristen Friel, she is our event coordinator for our fundraiser that we do in the fall, our harvest celebration fundraiser. She is our extraordinaire, our leader who keeps us going for that event, so thank you. If at all you've had a part in either donating, serving, sharing what we do, if you wouldn't mind standing, if you're comfortable, I would love to personally thank you for your involvement in our organization. You guys want to stand? Anyone else? Thank you. Thank you. And it's not just individuals. Your church has been so welcoming for us with kitchen space when we've needed to wash buckets or wash produce when we've had some water issues. You've given us meeting room space to interview our interns, or if we just have meeting, there are times it's too cold or too dirty out there to meet at the farm, and you guys provide us much needed space. So thank you. So I just wanted to highlight one piece of our mission statement that says culturally relevant. So we don't just grow vegetables to grow vegetables. We grow what our food pantry clients want and can use and what matters to them. So every 2 years, we go to all of our food pantry partners and we survey them and ask, what's the produce that you would like in your home? So that we're not growing things that are just gonna rot on the shelf because they don't know what it is or they're not gonna use it. So if you see in the picture, there's eggplants. That's very popular with our Hmong population. You'll see okra, leafy greens, lots of kinds of peppers for our Hispanic population. So we really try to be respectful and thoughtful about what we grow and provide to the food pantries. Okay, so let's just talk about practical changes that you've probably seen out at Forward Garden. We purchased Forward Garden in 2023. The Pope family was ready to move on from the property. We'd been leasing it for 3 years. And as we were leasing it, we were kind of confined to these 3 acres that we could grow on. And there is the potential of 12 growable acres. And as we watch this need in our community get bigger and bigger, we need more space to be able to meet those needs. So when we had the opportunity to buy the property, we said yes. Because not only did we need the space to grow more produce, but as you can see with all the development happening around your neighborhood, Forward Garden is now protected as agricultural space, and it will always be agricultural space, which is huge for the community. So we restored the barn. It's gorgeous. That's a lot of, in the basement is where we store a lot of our equipment. We process the produce, we weigh the produce. Eventually we'll be putting a new big cooler in there. And the barn was becoming unsafe. It was falling apart. And we were warned that at some point the floor was gonna fall in. So, kind of a problem. So we made a campaign to restore the barn. We put in steel beams and footers, a nice cement slab in the basement. We restored all the siding so that it's gonna be around for another 100+ years, and that really mattered to us. And last thing, I'm sure you have seen the greenhouse that is now on our property. We had plans of putting a greenhouse on the property, but not so quickly. That was our surprise project, as you'll see. In the photo of our greenhouse team, that's actually at Night Howl Nursery here in Middleton. And for over 10 years, they allowed us to use space in their greenhouse. Our team seeds over 15,000 starter plants for all of our gardens. So all of our gardens get their starters for the growing season from our greenhouse team. Well, Night Howl Nursery suddenly got a contract for a big business deal and needed the space. And we were suddenly without a home for our seeds. So we came together and said, okay, well, this project got moved up quickly on our priorities. And we were able to get a used greenhouse, and it was a lot of work and dedication to get it up as fast as we needed it, but here it is. It is certainly a labor of love on our property. And part of why we wanted a greenhouse in the future so that we could extend our growing season. So now it's not just our seeds, but we can do strawberries and leafy greens and grow in the winter to extend that season to donate even more produce throughout the year. So I love this picture. This is from Jim Peterson, one of our maintenance volunteers. He was out a couple days ago servicing one of our lawn mowers, and he said, I was out there at the perfect time. Look at this picture I got. And he emailed it to me, and I'm like, Jim, that's gorgeous. And I feel like it's just a beautiful picture that represents the beauty of the land that we own, but also the beauty of our mission and what we're trying to do to feed our community. So I leave you with that beautiful photo. And I did put, these are on the first roundtable in the fellowship hall. It's our annual report. This is a little pamphlet that tells you a little bit more about who we are. Sorry about that. And there's a QR code that'll take you to our website or donate or how to volunteer and get involved if you're at all interested and want to know more. And I'll stick around for a little bit if you have any questions. But I want to thank you for being in partnership with us and supporting us. And I forgot to mention, you've also sponsored our Harvest Celebration fundraiser, so thank you for that. We certainly could not complete our mission without you, and we are grateful, so thank you. Sure. The Harvest Celebration is September 27th. And if you look in the annual report, you can see last year's event. We have food and live music and a silent auction. We're doing a wine poll this year. So if you go to our website, it'll direct you to where you can get tickets. But yeah, that's September 27th. So if you scan the QR code and go to our website too. And our website's on here, foodpantrygardens.org. So yes, thank you. Thank you, Kristen, for that reminder. I've got to stop hitting this microphone. That's it. That's my cue. I'm done. Thank you.
For our invitation to generosity today, I want to offer a thank you on behalf of our congregation and United Church of Christ to those who volunteer at Forward Garden. Darcie already did a shout out for all of you, but I do want to also mention the summer servants participants each year, which is a little added extra. As a reminder of how to give to MCC to continue God's work in our community, including our financial offerings, our time, the volunteer work that you all do, I invite you to go to our website. There's a give button that you can, I want to say press, but I know it's on the computer, so that's not going to happen, but that you can select in order to give financially to Middleton Community United Church of Christ. There's a QR code on the slide on the monitors, and also in person, the boxes just outside of the sanctuary doors against the wall with the doors. You can always deposit cash, checks, things like that there. I do want to stress that our congregation is always making generous offerings of the gifts that God has given us, whether again that be financial, time, and or volunteer work. Thank you. A hearty meal is good news for the hungry. Go out to the world and feed others, sharing from the abundance of your pantry and your heart. And in all the places that you are hungry, hungry for food, hungry for fellowship, hungry for connection, may you be filled to the brim with blessings. Amen.